welcome to the Vocal Dental Nurses with your hosts, Kate and Shelly.
Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back to, round two with Shelly and myself, Kate. We're here to have another, just a brief chat today, Shelly. I think we've said, haven't we, about the fantastic dental nurses that we all know and love. It's a bit of a hot one today, so we've said, right, let's keep it brief. How have you been, Shelly? You been all right?
Yeah, absolutely fine this week. Just very hot today. I was glad that we finished at 1 on a Friday. That was very welcoming today for all the girls. I could see they were starting to struggle a bit. So, yeah, happy to finish at 1 today.
Okay. Do you know what? With being a nurse, when you work in this industry, some of the materials set rather quickly in the heat. So when you want to go a bit slower because it's that hot, unfortunately, you've got to work double as hard or double as fast to get the materials sorted.
Absolutely. And it doesn't happen very often that we have a dedicated decon nurse, but when it does, you just feel for them stuck in there with autoclaves running, the DAC machines go in, the ultrasonics. Oh, no. It's a hard slog.
I know we say dental nurses seriously are worth their weight in gold for so many reasons, which over these coming chats, for people out there that are listening in, we really want to touch upon some of the subjects. But for this one, as I say, it's just brief. But when you do have a decon nurse, oh my goodness, your day is so different. All the team, you can see that they feel elated that there's someone there to help. But fair play, as you say, to be in that decon. We were at a practice yesterday and they actually had a trainee nurse and she'd only been there 2 weeks. And, good. She was doing really well, which is just fantastic. She was in decon. And
bless her.
She looked warm.
But she did. It wasn't even that bad yesterday either, was it? But, goodness me, yeah.
That everything else generates. So do you know what? I actually turned around to the nurse that was training her and said, if she can survive in there with this heat for week 3, then you've got to keep her.
She's a keeper, 100%. Yeah, we rotate in our practice just because it just simply wouldn't be fair to leave someone in there full time anyway. But at times like this, when it's so hot, it's just, you couldn't just leave some poor girl in there from sort of April till October. There'd be nothing left of them. It'd just be a puddle on the floor.
They would. What with you rotating with your nurses, Shelley?
Yeah.
Is that something? It's something we eventually did in practice for me all those years ago. And personally, I think it is a good thing. And I don't know whether that's coming from a managerial side of me speaking, because if one's off, the other can go in. Because I do know a lot of clinicians have, I don't think you should say favourites. It's probably one that works.
That they work better with, yeah.
And it's always difficult because if that one nurse that they work with is either on annual leave or sick, I don't think I need to tell you, then it's a hard day for the dentist because they have a nurse that's worked with them. So how do your team, do they welcome that as a rota? Do they know no different?
Yeah, when we interview, it's always brought up that we work on a rota basis for those girls that are, have experience or might even be qualified dental nurses. They're made aware from the get-go that we rotate. You do a week with the hygienist, you do a week in decon, you do a week on the desk. Simply because of what you've just said, if someone phones in sick, it's quite a stressful situation. We always say it's like working in someone else's kitchen. It's like trying to knock up a great big Christmas dinner in someone else's kitchen to work in somebody else's surgery if you're not used to it. So, and it's a social thing as well, especially because we've got such a large team. If we don't move people around, you just go months without seeing certain people. Yeah. So it just works better for us that everyone gets, it's just fair then. It's just fair.
Yeah. And I think as well, I don't know if you agree, but I think it's a great insight. And what you've just said is key. So it's not just that they rotate around your clinicians and decon, they also rotate on the desk, which I think is fantastic because that gives a brilliant insight of why, I don't know, for example, not booking back-to-back implants is as smooth as if you were to put an index or an exam, you know, different things in between it.
Yeah.
That gives them fantastic insight if
Absolutely.
they're actually back out on the section.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well it can be for the dentists that have been qualified a lot longer. I won't mention any names, but some people don't like to use a full range of instruments that are available. So if you're not rotated and someone asks you for a Ward's carver or a double-ended excavator, sorry, what now? Whereas because the younger ones, they like their filling packs, you know, it just makes it more fresh for everybody. There's, you know, and it's a good learning experience for them as well, because although they might only be working in one practice, they're working with 4 or 5 different dentists every few weeks. So
it is brilliant. I mean, but for the dentists as well, like you just said, it's like going into somebody else's kitchen. Well, even though the dentists, you know, aim to do the same job, you know, look after patients, fill-ins, exams, and all those kind of things, they work differently.
Yes, absolutely.
How one would approach an MOD filling would be different to the next. So knowing what they like is helpful for your workflow, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what's it been like at Bewdley this week?
Do you know, I've been there today, but I wasn't in surgery today. I was doing rotas, which is just the bane of my life. I think we've had a good week. I can't even think back to the start of the week. We're very excited because we've got a new trainee starting with us Monday. Trainee dental nurse. So that's quite exciting. So yeah, it's just been another crazy week.
Yeah.
It's never any different.
Never any different and never enough hours. So with your trainee nurse then, Shelley, are they, like most places to be fair, after they've done maybe initial week or two, because I do, with working in so many different practices, we do see so many different levels of how they would bring a trainee nurse in, that most of them, bless them, sort of have to hit the ground running, or in my experience, that's what I see. And I know they do the bit of shadowing to begin with, but wouldn't it be lovely if you could train a trainee dental nurse with the time, instead of sort of putting them straight into surgery, if you like?
Yeah.
How do you guys do it?
So Monday, she will probably come in with me and Jag, the principal dentist, just to sort of oversee what she will eventually be doing. Then I think the next thing for us, I think that's the most important, is Decon and explaining the processes and why we do these things. Then we tend to put them in with the hygienist for a few weeks, simply because that masters their suctioning technique. Yeah. Once they're sort of comfortable with that, and it, you know, they learn to stick to time and how important it is that, you know, our hygienists have 20 minutes, you've got to turn the surgery around. So it's that time management side. Then we would bring them back in to surgery, still being shadowed. We wouldn't just say, right, off you go and do a crown prep. But yeah, we'd sort of break them in that way so that the decon process is down and they understand the importance of it, and the suctioning as well, I think is quite important.
And like for a trainee nurse as well, when they're coming in, I mean, you and I just prior to this had a little chit chat, and we said that we want to talk about the role of a dental nurse in a lot more detail. But do you know what? Learning the role of a dental nurse when you're coming in as a trainee, because I think a lot of people think that it is just surgery based. So the role of a dental nurse is in there to support the clinician, which is paramount and really, really important. But my goodness, that's not even a little scraping.
It's the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? It's the tip of the iceberg. Yeah.
I mean, for a trainee to actually learn the role of the dental nurse, the large role of a dental nurse in itself is a big learning curve. And then they've got to master, you know, each bit of that, you know, liaising with the clinicians and the patients and the team and the importance. So it's a massive job.
It is, and then it's all the coursework that runs alongside their training, and so they've got all that side of it as well. So yeah, it is a big. I just hope she likes it. I hope she likes us. She seems really nice, so I'm hoping she's going to fit in well.
Who could not like you lot, Bewdley?
Well, yeah, I hope so. She's got big boots to fill though, because it's our Scylla that we're replacing, because she's going off on our maternity leave, and I don't think there'll ever be another Scylla.
You don't think, they can be replaced? No,
well, no, she's got some very big boots to fill, but I'm sure she'll manage. She'll be fine. She'll be absolutely fine. We'll take it steady with her. We'll go slow. Yeah. She'll be fine.
And do you know what? It's remembering that, isn't it? Because, and that's kind of what I was alluding to, because when you have a trainee nurse, a lot of practices are so desperate for nurses, they're short staffed, therefore it's so easy to bring that individual in, and they sort of have to learn on the job, which I know a large proportion of it is. But it'd be lovely, wouldn't it, as a practice to be able to dedicate more time. But you know,
it's crazy as well, because I was saying to a couple of the girls today about it. For me, going in now Monday, because Mondays I always work with Jag, and because I only ever work with Jag, Ben, or you and Carl, I don't think about what I'm doing. I just go in and it's just an automatic response. So I'm going to have to strip it right back, and I'm going to have a good night's sleep Sunday, because it's the whole explaining every little thing that you're doing and why you're doing it and how he likes it like this and this needs to be. So yeah, it'll be quite a draining day for me as well, I think, but it'll be worth it. We need the staff. It's got to be done. So.
Yeah. Well, you're right though, because something that you do in your stride you don't think about, you've actually got to take a step back and go, actually, I've got to explain why I've done that.
Yeah.
And why you can't.
And why,
like that.
yes, and why it makes sense and why it has to be done. And it's, yeah.
And can't just walk out of the room with an open tray of instruments, go to Decon. Why? Well, because it's massive role that the trainees take on. But they got good support in your team, to be fair, haven't they?
There's a lot of us as well. And that'll be the first test for her on Monday. He always gets them to make him a cup of tea. And he has been known to tip it down the sink in front of them and say, no, try again. That makes him sound terrible. That makes him sound awful. But come on. He likes a decent cup of tea in the morning. If you can't get that right, then...
No, exactly. I did see him putting his hand out straight away when you came in with a cup of tea the other day. Is that mine?
Yeah, he is a tea monster. But yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be absolutely fine.
She will. Oh, bless your little heart. Well, Shelly, we're going to keep this brief because, as I said, I know it's been a tough old week for different reasons. So thank you very much. I just want to say to everybody out there, this was just a general chit chat. I mean, we really do want to go on a deep dive with the role of the dental nurses. So we'd love you to join us. Please follow us on Facebook. We've got our podcast, Oral Bites, or our YouTube channel. So please follow us. And as we've said before, don't be shy. Come and join the panel. You know, we just want to have a chit chat. We want everybody out there to know just how fantastic nurses are, don't we, Shelley?
Absolutely. And, yeah.
And, you know, if you can share some hints and tips and, you know, just let people know the daily struggles that you're against. You know, we're a big team out there. So let's unite and have a voice.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, Shelley, hope you have a fantastic weekend.
You too. Enjoy the heat. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Stay cool.
Stay cool indeed.
Stay
Take
cool.
care.
Okay.
Bye.